Hey guys, it's Kelsey, and I'm so glad you're here today. We're gonna be headed back to Reddit for AITA, one of my favorite things. I went ahead and picked out a juicy one for you guys already, so I hope you're ready to be the judge, the jury, because these people have problems, and I guess they posted them on the internet for us to solve, but whatever, girl. Anyways, AITA for refusing to give my friend $1,000. When I was 20, a friend and I were both broke and constantly talking about how we needed to get our lives together. Which my thought is like, when I was 20, how old are you now? But okay. One night drinking beers and shooting the crap, we made a deal. Whoever saved 10,000 first would give the other person $1,000. Over the next few years, we brought it up constantly. Whenever one of us bought something stupid, the other would say, "There goes the 10 grand." Eventually, I started taking my finances seriously. I worked extra hours, stopped going out as much, and drove an older car and passed on things I wanted. Okay, well, so my first thought is obviously you got to the 10 grand first. That's what we're supposed to take away from this. That's what I'm assuming. And my thought is like, if you agreed to give your friend 1,000 when you made 10 grand, and I'm assuming based on this post, like that's not what is about to happen, then yeah, you're in the wrong, because why would you guys talk about that constantly and then you back out? But whatever. So my friend went in the opposite direction. He went out constantly, financed a newer car, took trips, and basically lived paycheck to paycheck. A few months ago, I finally hit 10K. When finances came up, he laughed and said, "So where's my 1,000?" I thought he was joking. He wasn't. He reminded me that we'd shaken on it, that I spent years acknowledging the deal. I told him the entire point was to motivate each other to save money. Giving away 10% of my savings because I actually followed through seemed ridiculous. He was annoyed, but eventually dropped it. Then a month later, his car broke down. The repair is almost exactly $1,000. He asked me for the money again, except this time he wasn't laughing. He said he genuinely needs it, doesn't have enough saved, and could lose his job if he can't reliably get to work. I still said no. He told me, "You literally have the money because you spent years making better decisions than me. I'm not asking for charity. I'm asking you to honor something you promised." Then he said something that actually bothered me. "You were perfectly happy calling it a promise when you thought you might be the one getting the money. Now, some of our friends think I should pay because a deal is a deal. Others think it's insane that I'm expected to hand over money I worked for because of something two broke 20-year-olds agreed to." Well, I'm going to tell you this. Here's the thing. First of all, this was dumb from the beginning. I would not, as a broke person, like, not that I'm broke now, but just like in the context, well, kind of, I guess, maybe. Anyways, I would never make this deal because the thing is, I could foresee someone, I don't even think the friend intentionally took advantage of the situation. I think the friend genuinely just didn't have that dog in him. And so that's why you were grinding. He wasn't. And I'm just like, I would have thought from the beginning, like, obviously somebody is going to go harder here and someone's going to benefit from the other person's hard work. And if you're not okay with that, then you shouldn't make the deal to begin with. So my thought is, it sounds like you're not the type of person who should have made that deal to begin with, but you were 20, so I can see how with no developed frontal lobe you would do that. Yeah, okay. You're the butthole because why did you even tell him you had 10K saved? I agree. I guess like if you guys were bringing up the deal constantly, that lets someone think that you're still okay with the deal. And that doesn't mean, "Oh, I'm okay with the deal if you work hard, if you do this, if you do that." No, you said if you had 10K, you would give your friend a rack. So run him his money, especially because if you didn't have the 10K, like these people are saying, you never had to tell him if you had no intentions of giving it to him, because obviously he's going to bring up the deal and I don't know why you would even say that. Let's see what else. Yeah, you spent years acknowledging the deal. Stupid deal is still a deal. This is my opinion on it. If you want to know what I think, a stupid deal is still a deal. So, a promise is a promise, no matter how ridiculous. You're not a man of your word. Love money more than you love being a man of your word. I just feel like I understand why they're upset, but I mean, you made the deal. And also, low key, let's talk about this. At some point, you aged and you matured, hence you earning said 10K. At no point during that did you think, "Hey, maybe it's not a good idea to give him the money if he hasn't been working for his own money." So like at that point you should have communicated that boundary, like, hey, I'm still working towards the 10K. If you're not working towards the 10K and you're not like actually going to save your money and make better like financial decisions, then I don't think we should uphold this deal anymore. You should have said that before y'all both had 10K. Yeah, stupid people win stupid prizes. That's the T. Yeah. Sorry. Most of the time I don't feel like they're the butthole. So that's kind of like funny to me that I did. Okay, let's find another real juicy one. AITA for not accepting my stepmom's apology. Hi, me, 22-year-old female, don't get along with my father and stepmom due to past issues. Tell us about them. I've had to go to trauma therapy and I am barely in contact with him. We tend to have problems due to the fact that I speak up when he mistreats me or others. He thinks of that as drama. Okay, yeah, he sucks. In the times I've talked with my stepmom, she has put down my brother, me, and my mom. She doesn't respect my asthma and has scented things around. She also has said some bad remarks on minorities. Oh, let's keep reading. 'Cause what? And doesn't seem to have a problem with it. I've tried to explain. Okay, facts. Actually, can I get everybody's race? I want the race of you and your parents, but also the race of your stepmom. But let's keep going. I've tried to explain the problem in things she said, but she just thinks I'm overreacting due to my bipolar disorder. I don't have the best view of her due to all of that. She has since apologized years later this year by sending me a letter saying sorry. She then sent a text to my mom today saying sorry. I am not one to let in people in my life who have burned me and my loved ones. So I sent her a thanks in regards to sending my mom a nice message. I expressed how I don't take back people who have been cruel. I then commended her for seeing the error in her ways. My father caught wind of this and has threatened to cut me off from his health insurance. Okay, I am disabled with a plethora of health conditions and this would leave me at risk of not getting life-saving medicine or treatment. Was this reaction warranted or AITO? Okay, well, before I see what the world is saying, I like to tell you guys what I think because I don't want to be biased. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to let the comments sway me. I don't think she's wrong for not accepting your stepmom's apology because it's like she literally sent you to trauma therapy. Like, obviously some mess went down and I can tell that she's racist and maybe a bit ableist and like all the things. So she just sounds like a terrible person. Even if she's apologizing, like, you don't owe anyone reconciliation. And moreover, I know we're talking about your stepmom right now, but I'd like to pivot a bit. Can we talk about your dad? Your dad sucks, and I don't know, like, he's the real, like, a-hole here, because, like, okay, he is threatening to cut off your health insurance. Anybody who's willing to, like, literally remove resources from their children's lives, the lives of their child, who they know obviously will need that, just because they're not getting their way, is like really weird to me. So no, you are not the butthole, but your father is. Okay, your dad is toxic. Yeah, keep your distance, babe. Because I think we have a bigger problem. Yeah, the apology question is almost secondary now, and I agree because I really want to talk about the fact that you are possibly losing your healthcare insurance. Like, that seems like the bigger problem to me. NTA for not accepting your stepmom's apology, but if you need your father's health insurance, you might have to play nice. I hate to say it, girl. That's what my boyfriend said too. This is the original poster said to keep their head down. Yeah, because I'm gonna be real, girl. In this life, sometimes it's life can be a bit of a game. And the question is, are you going to be the best player in your server? Okay? Are you coming the hardest? Because what your dad is doing, he's playing a stupid game, and trust, he will be dealt with. But not right now, unfortunately, because you do need him until you have your whole, like, health insurance situated by yourself. And so it just makes sense to me in the meantime that you use him. And you gotta take care of your brain when you play smarter, not harder. Like, for me, if I were you, I would, like, tell myself, like, okay, yes, it feels like he's getting over on me, but the truth is I'm getting over on him, like, financially, like, because I actually don't like him and I don't like my stepmom, and I'm pretending so that I can drain them of their resources until I have my own. Like, you just have to, I don't know if that's right to say. But I'm just saying, like, obviously you're going to feel some type of way because of the crimes they've committed in the past. We're not saying to forget about that. We're saying, remember, you have a prescription that needs to be refilled, and maybe that's where you have to focus your attention to right now. Yeah, people said the choice is expensive. Like, yeah. Not accepting her apology is an expensive decision, because who's gonna pay for the medication? Because you know what she's gonna do. She's gonna go to Papa and be like, your daughter still hates me, and that's why he's threatening you in the first place. So if you make up with her, she's gonna go to your dad and be like, oh, look at this nice message, and now you get your medication. It's not fair, and you are a victim, and you do need to, I don't know, I pray you get the financial independence or the job that has the health benefits and all the things, because you gotta get out of there. You gotta get out of there. Okay, let's find something else. AITA for ruining my family's lunch? Like, okay, let's get into this. I, 18-year-old female, am currently staying with my grandparents at their house, which is in a different province from where I live. Am I tripping? Do we use the word province here in the Americas? Is that something that you use in New Hampshire? That feels like something that happens up there. My boyfriend, dad, and dad's wife are also here. Okay. For some context, my grandparents were no contact with my dad for 30 years because they disapproved of his relationship with my mom. What is the race of your grandparents and your mom? I know what y'all are thinking. I'm not making everything a race thing, but it is interesting. Can we deny that? If that has something to do with it, that would make, the grandparents more villainous. Hence me saying, no, you're not bad for ruining their lunch. I guess that's the logic I'm following, but hey, let me not get ahead of myself, okay? He only reconnected with them after my parents' divorce. Dang. So you let them win. But okay, I met my grandparents when I was 14 after my parents' divorce, so they were absent for my entire childhood. Since meeting them, I've developed a pretty good relationship with my grandmother, but I cannot stand my grandfather. I find him extremely bossy and entitled. He acts like he's the man of the house and the sole provider, when in reality, both he and my grandmother worked as teachers their entire lives. The difference is that my grandmother's work didn't end when she came home. She was also responsible for cooking, cleaning, and raising their children, none of which my grandfather really did. I feel like all of this, combined with his relatively comfortable upbringing, has contributed to him becoming a spoiled man-child. That said, this is obviously my perspective, and I recognize I could be biased, or that there may be parts of the situation I don't know about. So today, my grandparents' boyfriend, dad, and dad's wife went to get lunch at a nice restaurant we were all excited to try. Since I came to this province, there goes that word again, I've been dying to try a traditional meat dish that they serve at most restaurants around here. I hadn't gotten around to it yet, since we've only gone out to eat twice during the month I've spent here. At the last restaurant, they insisted that I order the 3-course daily set menu instead of the dish I wanted, so I went along with it, even though I prefer the meat dish. Today, I mentioned that I was looking forward to finally trying it. My family said we would be ordering from the daily set menu. I said that was fine and that they could get the 3-course menu while I ordered the dish from the regular menu. My grandfather said no and told me I had to order the 3-course menu because he was paying. I got irritated and said fine, I'd pay for my own food. He disliked me being sassy about it and started yelling at me in the restaurant, calling me names, and spoiling the rest of our lunch. I ended up paying for my own dish, which was $24 compared to the 23 cent menu, and spent half of my monthly allowance on this meal. I get 50 euros a month. I don't think I was wrong for wanting to choose my own food, especially when I paid it myself, but my family acts as if I'm the problem and should have just listened to my grandfather. This isn't the first issue we've had because of how he bosses me around. My boyfriend says I wasn't the a-hole and that my grandfather is rude and doesn't respect anyone other than himself, but given that he's my boyfriend, I can't completely trust his perspective as he might be biased. So AITAH. no child. Like, obviously, bless her. She's young. That's why she's, yeah, we could skip to the comments on this one because I already know that she's not. And I'm sure everyone's going to be agreeing. And even if he's paying, like, I'm so sorry, but like the difference was $1. Now, I'm not saying we're entitled to grandpapa's money. However, you're tripping. You're tripping. You're tripping. Cause like, yeah, the public tantrum over €1 is insane. I literally think that's insane. So yeah, everyone's unanimously agreeing that like this is not your fault. This one is old, but it's an insane title. AITA for telling my wife the lock on my daughter's door does not get removed till my brother-in-law and his daughters are out of our house. What an insane, like, title, but okay. My brother-in-law, Sammy, lost... Oh, we saying names. We're saying names. That's crazy. You can't do that. Okay, and I know where you're at. You're in freaking Quebec. Okay, so I know Sammy in Quebec is acting up. That's crazy. Should not have used his name, but it's okay. Sammy lost his home shortly after his divorce 10 months ago. I have a feeling we're about to find out why he's divorced, but okay. He moved in with us and brought his twin daughters, Olivia and Sloan, airing out everybody's name. That's crazy. With him a couple of months ago. This is somebody older, though, so they probably didn't know. Like, you typically don't want to put names like that out there, but whatever. His sister, my wife, and I have one daughter, Zoe, and she and her cousins aren't close, but they get along fine. Olivia and Sloan have no respect for Zoe's privacy, none. They used to walk into her room and take everything they get their hands on, makeup, phone, accessories, clothes, school laptop, etc. Zoe complained a lot, and I've already asked the girls to respect Zoe's privacy and stop taking things. My wife and Sammy saw no issue with this. After all, they're girls, and this is typical teenage girls' behavior. I completely disagreed. I also disagree. As a teenage girl once, I'm not currently, but I've been a teenage girl before. I definitely understood boundaries. I understood like respecting other people's things. And yeah, I mean, if you tell me to like take my hands off, I'm taking my hands off. Period. Last straw was when Zoe bought a $60 MAC makeup kit that looked like a paint set that she saved up for over a month, and one of the girls took it without permission and ruined it by mixing shades together while using it. Don't know much about makeup, but that's what Zoe said when she found the kit on her bed and was crying. I told my wife, and she said she'd ask Flo to apologize, but I got Zoe a lock after I saw she was moving valuable belongings out the house because of this incident. Okay? Sammy and his daughter saw the lock and weren't happy. Oh, okay. Here's the thing. The girls are children, and so I can't get mad at them, I guess, but I kind of can. And I can get mad at them, like, okay, because what do you mean you're mad I have a lock on my door in my house? You're mad I have a lock on my door in my house. And Sammy, let's talk. Sammy and his daughter saw the lock and weren't happy. The girls were extremely upset. Sammy asked about it, and I straight up told him. He said, my daughters aren't thieves. It's normal that girls of the same age borrow each other's stuff with permission. With permission. Okay. It's normal that girls of the same age borrow each other's stuff. He said Zoe could easily get another makeup kit for $15 from Walmart. That's not the same, okay? And shouldn't even be buying expensive adult makeup in the first place. It suggested my wife take care of this defect in Zoe's personality, trying to appear older than she is. He accused me of being overprotective and babying Zoe with this level of enablement. You're in my house, and you're telling me that I have to let you use my things in my house? No, you are actually, like, the most enabled, but okay. I told him this is between me and my wife, but she shamed me for putting a lock on Zoe's door for her cousins to see and preventing them from spending time with her, saying I was supposed to treat them like daughters, then demanded I removed it, but I said this lock does not get removed till her brother and his daughters are out of our house. She got mad. I was implying we kicked them out and said her family will hate me for this, so I reminded her that I let Sammy and his family move in, which is something her own family refused to do, so she should start with shaming, blaming them for not taking their own son and nieces and granddaughters in. If it wasn't for her family's unwillingness to help, we wouldn't be dealing with this much disturbance at home. everyone's been giving me and Zoe silent treatment, and my wife is very much upset over this. Take your daughter and run. Run. Because the truth is, the sister and the brother, they think alike. Your wife is his sister. They think alike because of like whatever their own upbringing is, and they both think wrong, and neither is willing to see the other side. I say we take Zoe and we run to a new area, a new province, if you will. Yeah, he's not the butthole at all. Like, this man is innocent. Matter of fact, give him an award, Dad of the Year, for standing up for your daughter, bro. Literally don't back down. You're the only one sticking up for Zoe. No, that's my thought. I'm like, that probably is such a hard situation for Zoe, feeling already like your space is impeded upon, and then like people just disrespecting it like so blatantly. But my thing is, let me see the age of the girls again. Yeah, no, everyone's too grown for this. That's so ridiculous. No, I feel like if you do this for Zoe, like, it turns a hard situation into one where she can still be like, well, I'm grateful for my dad and his support, and I'm glad she has you. Yeah. OP should go into Sammy's room to borrow things without asking. Underwear, an expensive watch, returning it with visible wear and tear. Oh, yes. That is the way. Yeah. A teen needs privacy and security, especially when they felt powerless in their own, that part. Because why are you calling Zoe defective? That's literally insane and untrue. And Zoe, I want you to know we ride for you at dawn. Okay, because what? I would genuinely kick these people. Okay, let's see what's going on. OP said, you know, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but my wife has been acting like a hypocrite lately. We know. Only in Quebec 9. We know. Especially regarding privacy issues. She considers privacy something very important, but still thought that Zoe did not have the right to get a lock, even if we leave her cousins out of this matter. My wife is not agreeing with the whole concept of Zoe getting a lock. I explained to her what's been happening, even told her that Zoe has been moving some of her valuable belongings into a friend's house to keep them safe. Do I blame her? Absolutely not, but my wife still thought Zoe was wrong to do that. Now her cousins are upset, and they and Sammy are using the silent treatment along with other things like eating without us or not sitting with us as a guilt tactic. Even though it's not affecting me, it's making Zoe feel like she did something wrong by having a lock for her room. These are the worst in-laws ever. What the heck? This is literally so manipulative, and I hope that Zoe is as strong-willed as you, because y'all cannot bend. Granted, this was 5 years ago, and I would love an update. Yeah, this is literally just entitlement, and I do need to know what everybody looks like. This is so weird to me. I've never heard of people being that entitled. That's so strange. I'm glad to say that people voted that he's innocent, and I'm not surprised because, like, what? The entitlement on some people is genuinely jarring, and now I'll never understand it. But, child, I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. Anyways, guys, I am so glad we got to do this again. If you guys like it, let me know, because we'll be doing this again sometime. I will see you guys next time.